Many people believe that cultivation is a world far removed from the general public, shrouded in mystery and enigma. Many are curious about its true nature, especially given the influence of cultivation novels, which often instill in everyone a dream of flight. In reality, cultivation transcends time and space. Even in the technologically advanced 21st century, the wealthy and powerful emulate ancient methods in their pursuit of immortality, hoping to one day communicate with the gods and attain eternal life. There are simply too many people on this planet who don't want to die. However, these people never consider that if seeking immortality was so simple, what exactly are they seeking? For thousands of years, countless individuals have sought immortality, but most have returned empty-handed, because the path of cultivation has never been a standard, easily imitated path. Therefore, today we'll discuss the real world of cultivation and its mysteries, allowing more people to know that a path has always existed in this world. Only the methods have changed with the times. Hello everyone, this is the Cultivation channel. I'm Shan, the exorcist. I want to say that the true world of cultivation is the mortal realm in which everyone participates. This is because all mortal beings in this world are not detached from it. It's just a matter of whether you have the opportunity. After all, in the mortal realm, if you can attain enlightenment, you will enjoy the vastness of heaven and earth. If you are deluded, you will suffer the pain of reincarnation. Indeed, there are immortals constantly reincarnating here, and these people subconsciously also want to cultivate, but they cannot resist the temptations of the mortal world, and even if they have the opportunity, they cannot grasp it. The Eastern God and the Western God are actually one person, so cultivation is possible globally. Even in the upper realm, Buddhism and Taoism are not separate. The division into sects is only for mortals on earth, for the sake of so-called teaching and imparting knowledge. But true teaching, regardless of its form or sect, ultimately elucidates as the essence of cultivation, not isolates oneself from the world to highlight one's own uniqueness. In this true world of cultivation, there are not only people who cultivate, but also plants, animals and spirits that cultivate, including formless beings who have not yet been reincarnated. Only their fates differ. If we say that cultivation in human form has two possible outcomes, one either becomes an earth immortal or ascends to heaven as a celestial immortal, or becomes a ghost or demon. The difference between an earth immortal and a celestial immortal lies in who guides you. If it's a great Luo golden immortal, the attained rank is very high, and the upper limit is also very high. If guided by an earth immortal, the upper limit is not as high. This depends on individual karmic opportunity. For example, some ancient texts record those who became immortals through the guidance of earth immortals. Such immortals would become celestial servants or laborers after death. As the saying goes, where there is righteousness, there is evil. Some people practice evil methods, and these will become ghosts or demons. The specific form depends on the evolution after death. Such people believe they have found the righteous path, but because of the concept of a master, they spend their entire lives only to die peacefully, only realizing their mistake after death. It is tragic. They spend their lives seeking opportunities, but due to a lack of discernment, they ultimately meet a tragic end, losing both their physical body and their spiritual essence. Seeking opportunities in human form is much easier and takes much less time than in other species. Furthermore, cultivating in human form is the fastest path to enlightenment. Some plants and animals, after cultivating on the right path to a certain point, will reincarnate as humans to continue seeking opportunities for further cultivation, as this would greatly accelerate their path to immortality. However, some reincarnated humans fall into the mortal world. However, cultivation for plants and animals is far more arduous than for humans. Firstly, their living environment means they are constantly at risk of being killed by predators. Secondly, their intelligence is not yet fully developed, so their cultivation time is extremely long, requiring them to absorb the essence of heaven and earth in specific places day after day, for thousands of years without interruption. But animals have the advantage of purity and simple minds, which makes them better at cultivation. Unlike humans, who, although born with intelligence, have too many thoughts. Even immortals reincarnated as mortals are often lost in their own desires. However, some plants and animals cannot persevere for that long and seek shortcuts. They will absorb the essence and spirit of horse. However, some plants and animals cannot persevere for that long and seek shortcuts. They will absorb the essence and spirit of humans to strengthen themselves. Because the law of the jungle is extremely cruel in the spirit world, these are the monsters we know. They are mostly found in entertainment venues, such as the famous entertainment industry, but they are also numerous in other places. As long as you're human, you will be subject to erosion. It's just a matter of time. Some people don't feel it because they are currently in a period of good fortune, or the erosion hasn't yet manifested. Ultimately, you need strong energy to protect yourself. To illustrate the current situation, many people are severely affected by erosion, adults and children alike. Everyone's energy is low, but the degree of importance placed on it varies. Some try to resolve it through metaphysical methods, but find the solution complete, while others have become numb to it. When energy is severely depleted, it also indicates insufficient yang energy, which directly impacts life. Without yang energy, a person is essentially lifeless. This depletion can only be replenished through external replenishment of pure energy. You also need to learn to protect your energy field, avoiding places like entertainment venues and cemeteries, as these places are highly draining. After all, this era is filled with too much negative energy. Some people have likely sensed the recent strange celestial phenomena, though they lack a clear direction. For example, these immortals who reincarnated on Earth, if they wish to return, must cultivate themselves through righteous means. Without cultivation, they will continue to reincarnate. Even if they are great immortals, they cannot ascend after death. Such talk is merely a way to deceive the uninformed. Therefore, the powerful and wealthy of this century are all flocking here because of this supposed opportunity, all wanting this chance to cultivate themselves. Worldly life no longer satisfies them. And what these people desire is precisely the feudal superstition that ordinary people scorn. Ultimately, ordinary people are still limited by information. After all, the powerful and wealthy are surrounded by so many extraordinary individuals, many of whom are believed to be backed by spirits who know about many future events in the human world. Take Jack Ma, for example. He had long wanted to cultivate himself, because in his previous life, he was a creature that cultivated itself, and this time he was reborn as a human to cultivate. It is said that Jack Ma had a miraculous encounter in his early years, witnessing non-human powers, which further confirmed his desire to cultivate. In his youth, Jack Ma had a recurring dream of an old man in a certain place, seemingly waiting for him. When Jack Ma woke up, he found it strange, so he drew the scene from his dream and placed it in his living room. One day, a friend visited him and saw the drawing, telling Jack Ma that it was Zihongnan Mountain. Later, Jack Ma and his friend went there. But when they were almost at the place depicted in the drawing, they found that the car couldn't go any further and they had to walk. What was supposed to be a distance of about 1 kilometer took them several hours to reach the old man. Although the old man gave Jack Ma a test, they eventually met. The old man then spoke extensively with Ma about the future of the mortal world and offered guidance on corporate finance. Otherwise, Alibaba wouldn't have grown to such a large scale, and Ma's foresight wouldn't be so remarkable. However, ordinary people should avoid such extraordinary encounters. True deities don't enter ordinary people's dreams. This is more likely a case of a spirit cultivating into human form, or an evil cult IV Tor, who coveted something about Jack Ma. Hence this extraordinary encounter. Here's a point to note. If you dream of an old man imparting teachings or a bodhisattva bathed in light, be careful. True deities never appear in person or actively connect with you. Don't think you're a chosen one who will receive divine guidance in your dreams. If you can sense things in your dreams that ordinary people can't, it's definitely not a good thing. Not only will your energy field be negatively affected, but you might also be possessed. The old man Jagmamet was clearly not a true master. He wouldn't have been searching for genuine cultivation methods. His situation is similar to Zhangzi. His hands both encountered fortuitous events, but the difference lies in the energy level of their encounters. One genuinely met a deity, the other merely pretended to be a master. However, neither received enlightenment or guidance. This is the secret of cultivation. Opportunity is 1, everything else is 0. Without opportunity, everything is 0 because these things aren't in books. Many people reading ancient texts about achieving immortality easily miss the key points, overlooking crucial information. Sometimes when bloggers interpret these books of immortality, it becomes clear that those who haven't received enlightenment truly cannot understand them. For example, cultivation requires guidance from a master. Without guidance, even a lifetime of so-called cultivation is merely superficial. But if this isn't explained, many would think religion is the end for Cultivation. That's not true. True cultivation is in nature, not in brick houses and scriptures. However, even within the universe, there are distinctions. Although all exist under the same sky, places imbued with the vital energy of heaven and earth are ultimately few and far between. Requiring skill to find this is what is meant by technique. But only after you have attained the true Tao can these techniques truly help you, rather than blindly studying them in an attempt to connect with the divine. Firstly, the order is incorrect, especially on the path of cultivation. A wrong order could lead to a wasted life. In fact, this applies not only to modern seekers of immortality but also to the great Luo golden immortal Zhang Daoling. He reincarnated as an immortal and spent decades seeking immortality and studying scriptures, but ultimately without success. Finally, he received guidance and enlightenment from Lao Zai and was considered a divinely ordained master at the time. Other immortals also enlightened him. It's important to note that enlightenment doesn't only occur at the beginning of cultivation. It can also come during the process depending on the circumstances such as the historical context, individual temperament, and past cultivation practices. Zhang Tianxi's later founding of the 5 Pecks of Rice sect was also a divine mandate. Given the turbulent social environment at the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty, his original intention was to help people. But it too unexpectedly evolved into the money-grubbing sect it is today. Otherwise, it would be impossible for talisman icy water to cure illnesses, because talisman icy water contains energy, which is why it works so effectively, not just by randomly creating a talisman. Why doesn't it work now? It is because they are no longer connected to heaven, so it's useless. This is why it's always said that even a 1,000-year-old tradition is useless if it's not effective, even if their patriarch is Zhang Tianxi. Without a connection, it's all in vain. The same applies to other sects. Perhaps the first generation of disciples can still connect, but later generations inevitably cannot. Connecting between mortals and deities consumes the deity's energy. The connection with the first generation is based on mutual acquaintance and affection. At this point, some might ask, if deities are so powerful, why don't they help alleviate humanity's suffering? Frankly, nothing in this world is a given. Furthermore, the arrangements of heaven are beyond the comprehension of mortals. Only those who truly understand the secrets of heaven can comprehend them. Another reason for the founding of Taoism was to make cultivation known to the world. Therefore, the number of cultivators during the Eastern Han Dynasty was several times greater than in other dynasties because miracles were indeed performed. There was also a selection mechanism at the time. Those who entered the Tao had to pay 5 dao of rice, which was equivalent to a year's income for an average family during the Qing and Han dynasties. This practice was actually in line with human nature and the natural order. After all, of the four elements, wealth, companions, methods, and location, wealth comes first. People often cherish what they receive only after giving, and when there was indeed a genuine transmission of teachings, this mechanism would inevitably filter out those with sincere hearts. Otherwise, what is easily obtained is not cherished. As the saying goes, the Dharma is not lightly transmitted, the Tao is not cheaply sold, and the medicine is not given to those who knock on doors. Indeed, Zhang Tianxi found those truly desiring cultivation Wang Chang and a Zhao Shan who ascended to heaven together in broad daylight when Zhang Tianxi was 123 years old. At this point, you'll realize that opportunities must be sought, and cultivating immortality isn't as mysterious as it seems. The world of cultivation is no different from the world of ordinary people. It's just that with an awakening opportunity. One becomes aware of the existence of life forms in different dimensions and understands that cultivation exists within the world. It must be said here that if you sit at home expecting an opportunity, hoping for a master to actively guide you, that's nothing but a pipe dream unless you are born into a powerful family. It's impossible. Furthermore, the opportunities differ in each era. Some eras offer great opportunities, others less so. The current era is an era of great opportunities, so this situation will inevitably be different from the past and won't be presented in the traditional way. After all, the path of cultivation is never a smooth road that aligns with human nature, but rather a winding, unforgiving path. Cultivation itself is no easy feat. IT requires not only raising one's energy level, but also elevating one's mental state. Only by combining both can one go further, rather than focusing solely on cultivating the mind. The mind can be vast enough to contain all things, but ultimately needs energy to support it. Otherwise, IT remains an empty shell. The same applies to energy. Without an elevated mental state, the influx of energy will never truly integrate with oneself, remaining merely superficial and unused. The opportunities of this era are the anticipation of countless souls. Some have waited far too long, while others have come specifically for this purpose. However, finding the path to cultivation ultimately depends on one's individual innate talent and wisdom.